This is the vacation edition of our podcast. I'm just gonna start recording while I'm walking. The kids then left us, and I'm here with my darling. Put her right on the spot. You got anything to say, baby?
Get over it. It wasn't that big of a deal.
They left me
I can do 100.
Nobody left.
while I was getting. Come on, Samir. While I was getting, I was handling some business on the resort.
I'm trying to waste your time.
But me and the homie is we back together again. Any words? Just straight raw. This last day of vacation.
For some reason, I never got adjusted to a sleep schedule. Woke up tired every day.
Woke up tired every day?
Yeah,
Or it's just hard to get up?
it's hard to get up.
Yeah.
Same.
Is it because it's 3-hour difference? You think that might be able to play a part in it? Like your body's saying, hey man, what you doing? And then you look outside, it's daytime.
Yeah, I think my part.
Or is it because the beds are just comfortable? I don't know, but it is hard to get up
Yeah.
at this time because our bodies are stuck on Pacific Standard Time. So.
I think if even though I think I had to go to bed earlier in order to, really figure out like early, in order to shift it. But and then you want to catch the most of the day to do activities.
Okay.
So
Did you enjoy the trip?
I enjoyed it. There were some super high points.
There were some super high points, you said?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Like the Isla Mujeres. I mean, what's it called? Sun Palace Beach Resort.
Yeah,
And
that was cool.
Isla Mujeres was kind of I don't know.
It was okay.
It was okay.
Just
I wanted it to
little
be
hiccup.
yeah, a small hiccup.
Little hiccup.
I wanted it to be exciting for us all, but
It's okay. Our son had a little, it was a seasick episode, but other than that, it was okay. I think I enjoyed just being able to get away from the hustle and bustle of the everyday life, just the grind, and get away and think about nothing. And I so appreciate that. Like I did not think about any of the things that I have to do. And that felt good.
I think that also, you can't go that long. I mean, you can, but it's not healthy, I don't think, to go that long. Hustling and bustling and, grinding, without taking any mental breaks.
Yeah.
But, I mean, the weather really did good for us. The weather was good.
Oh yeah.
Even though it had some rain on the forecast, when I checked, we only got a little bit of rain.
Yeah.
A very little bit.
Okay.
So yeah.
Any so you want to talk about like what resort we're at? Want to do like a separate? We'll do another separate thing about like I guess reviewing the resorts, giving our assessments of the resorts. Maybe do a video
Okay.
and maybe do like just give our feedback, and perhaps that'll be helpful to somebody else. You know, if they decide they want to trip. But maybe like some people probably don't even know about Moon Palace, so perhaps that gives them an idea, and then maybe they'll come if they do their own research and they feel like, hey, this is for us. But no, this felt good. Glad we was able to do it. I think the most important, one of the main reasons why this felt good is because we were prevented from coming last year because of the mandates. Basically, if you were living under a rock, basically you could not leave the United States and come back to the United States without having a vaccination, and we were not, or taking the test, right? And so we were not taking the test or doing a vaccination in order to get in the country or to do anything else. So we were of the people that were labeled anti-vaxxers or whatever the case may be. And we were more pro-choice. So basically we had came to Cancun.
Mexico never forced you to do any of that.
Oh yeah, no, this wasn't a Mexican requirement. As a matter of fact, they in 2020 we came here twice. The end of 2020 we came here twice. So we were excited to just kind of try to get back to normal, and then all of a sudden 2021 hit, and all of a sudden there's all these mandates and all this pressure to put some stuff in your body. And then when they said, hey, you can't go to Mexico unless you get a vaccine, essentially, we were like, we was just there. We went twice.
No, they say you can't come back to the U.S.
Well, that's like saying you can't go to Mexico, right? Essentially, that's what if you are a person who says, I'm not going to get vaccinated to travel, it's basically telling you, well, you can't go, because if you're going to hold your ground, you're not going to do that. What was weird was, like, I guess,
so you had to pay extra money to
yeah.
get tested.
You gotta pay more. Yeah, it was like, come on, man. Like, my point is, like, we was just there twice. We went there twice, had a ball. Now you're telling people that they have to, and I guess they were counting on people to be like, to do it because they wanted to travel. They wanted people to, like, to get vaccinated because they wanted them to say, hey, you know what? I'm going to do this in order to keep my freedom, or whatever the case may be.
And they did. And
some people did, yeah. So that was the part that was, like, disheartening, because it's like, well, damn, like, so we can't even leave the country anymore. And it's not that we could have left. We could have came to Mexico. The problem was, how was we going to get back into the United States? And so that was the issue in 2021. So, because we had already, at least in our minds, we were looking forward to traveling again in 2021. So to go out of the country. So we just decided, hey, I guess we're not going to go out the country, and then.
So we kept it in the States.
We kept it in the States for 2021, and then 2022 came around. A lot of the information started to come out.
In June, that's when we did it, I think.
In June, but here's the crazy thing. They put it in place because it was supposed to be for safety. Although we went to Mexico twice, came back fine, they dropped it because travel was low. And the economy was hurting. And the interest rates, they were talking about rising interest rates and inflation and all this other stuff. So the economy was doing bad. So a lot of the resorts were complaining or petitioning to have those mandates removed so people would travel. They were also petitioning to try to, like, make it easier for people to come to do travel, because the travel industry was struggling. So they put the mandates in place, quote unquote, for health, and they dropped the mandates, quote unquote, for an economic stimulus, which is ass backwards in my opinion. But needless to say, once they dropped the mandates, we were like, okay, we can actually entertain coming back to going traveling out of the United States. So, needless to say, we were able to do that, and we already had a trip planned, so we were able to save that trip, thankfully, and because we had paid for it already for the most part, and so this is the trip that we're on right now, and we're on our balcony and we're looking at the ocean, and the breeze is the wind is blowing, and it's a cool breeze. I was gonna say the breeze is breezing. I wasn't gonna say that, but it's like you can't you can't say breathe. The breeze is breezy. But yeah, no, it's a beautiful day. It's our last day here, and we are grateful to have this experience, despite all the craziness in 2021. All the craziness of the last 2 years, all the craziness of the last 2 years. It's just, it's been nerve-wracking, and so to kind of get away from that and to have some normalcy for the most part, which we've tried to keep in our own household, and then kind of get away and just relax, it's a blessing, and really grateful. And it actually makes you more appreciative of things, the basic things. So,
yeah, like seat covers. Seat covers.
And she said seat covers.
I mean,
but
don't get me
appreciative,
wrong.
yeah.
I know how to put some tissue on there, but other places don't value seat covers like we do.
Yeah, so
And the family learned a little bit of Spanish this week.
Yeah. We've been gone for a long time, so a lot of stuff happened since the last time we did a podcast. We were talking about Ime Udoka and Nia Long's situation, the Boston Celtics, and some other stuff. You want to talk about that and touch on that real quick?
Why was Boston Celtics involved in the relationship? You said it was like it was three of
Yeah,
people.
no, because
Three.
well, Nia Long said it herself that she felt like that Boston handled Celtics, should I say, handled it terribly by sort of putting Ime out there in the news the way that they did, and you notice how they did it on purpose to sort of destroy Ime Udoka, and they didn't at all mention the other lady that he was involved with.
I mean, it wasn't a good look for the entire city of Boston for me. Ever want to go to Boston? No, just playing. But you know, I never liked Boston anyway. So
Well, you're a Laker fan, so there you have it. But
no, it's just like, well, I don't know. It's just kind of like he's what do you call it? He just kind of was taken over by the environment that he was in. Like, it's not that is an excuse, but it's just like some of the people, when you see him, it's like, he did what with who?
Well, you don't know. We don't know. We still don't really know who. I didn't really dive too deep into the story, like trying to find out who she was, because there was like 3 different pictures of 3
She's
different
not
women.
Nia Long.
All right, we go again. What does being Nia Long have to do with Ime Udoka cheating? Nobody in Boston is Nia Long.
You're right.
So does that mean Ime would never do anything because
No,
it's
I just
Nia
say
Long?
he just kind of like, fell victim to his environment, just like
Right.
a lot of people that go away and do things in places that nothing to do.
So do you think a woman like let's say Nia Long, you think you reach a status that no man would ever cheat on you? Because of your name, because of who you are, because you're like a superstar, you think you don't fall in the same category as other women when it comes to men out. If he's going to do what he's going to do you think a man's going to go, you know what? I'm with Nia Long. You know, like,
I don't necessarily think he was thinking.
okay, that's probably true.
He was not thinking at all. He was led by other.
But why do you think they went out of their way to announce on all the news stations that Ime Udoka did this, but somehow protect this other lady that was involved in it? And she was married. Ime Udoka, who he was in this long-term fiance status, engaged, status. But this other lady, she was married. Why do you think they went out of their way to protect this lady from everybody knowing who she was?
Boston.
Okay. All right. Enough said. So that's why you think?
Yeah.
Okay. Because I mean, like, to protect her, and then even when other people in the so-called media went out of their way to try to like announce it, they got punished or they got like reprimanded and had to come on TV and apologize.
Oh.
Like Jalen Rose.
So tired of this apology stuff.
Yeah, like they had to go apologize for, but you can't. But like nobody's apologizing to Ime for the way that they promoted the story or pushed the story out.
And then he got suspended.
He got suspended, and that was the crazy part, indefinitely.
And then the other thing is that how many of these guys are out here cheating and sleeping?
Some of the people that probably suspended him
slapping
are doing
and clapping. And then
excuse me.
He gets the suspension.
Yeah, that's crazy. But the NBA players, like how many cheerleaders in the organization have they been involved
So
with?
this lady, this Bostonian was not a cheerleader. She was someone else.
I'm just saying.
No, I'm saying the way that they treated it, she was something else.
It doesn't matter. Like, she's part of the organization, but like when you work for the organization, you don't think that NBA players have slept with anybody in the organization?
The entire organization.
Right. You don't think that higher ups have ever gotten with an NBA player? So it's just funny how, but obviously it's different. He's the head coach and whatnot, so he's in a position of leadership. But I just think the way it was done was grimy. Somebody had an axe to grind. Now there is a word that the person that this person he was sleeping with was the wife of one of his bosses.
Mm-hmm.
So then that would explain how it was pushed out in the media. Like, if you were the husband who got cheated on by your subordinate, and with your wife, now you got an axe to grind.
Yeah,
you're mad. You throwing him out there, and you're gonna suspend him, right? If you got the power to do that, you're gonna suspend him. He's gonna be out. I don't give a damn.
But what happened with the wife?
He protected her, and maybe because it protects him, right? Like, let's say if the world know your wife cheated on you, now you're embarrassed, right? Just like Nia Long.
Yeah.
Right?
They didn't care about her.
They didn't care about Nia Long, but they cared about this whoever this higher up guy was.
Nobody knows him.
Nobody knows his name. Nobody. So that was the purpose. Like, they wanted to embarrass Ime and his wife, or his fiance. Yeah, but they didn't want to be embarrassed.
Yeah.
And so they protected. So he was mad at his wife, I'm sure, but he protected her because it was protecting him.
Yeah, it was a direct correlation to him.
Yeah, so that's probably what happened and why they did it the way that they did.
Because all the people in Boston know who they are.
Yeah. All the world know. People don't know. They really... And it was across the board, though. That was crazy. Like, no media outlet said, I'm going to go against the grain. I'm going to do some investigative journalism.
I did see a picture of that.
What we believe to be pictures, because I saw 3 different pictures.
Oh.
I saw it was one lady was a black lady, one lady was a white lady. It was another person who. So there was speculation of who it was, but never a confirmed anything, and the media was like across the board.
Hush, hush.
Hush hush. It was amazing. Like whoever this person was had some clout because they were able to kind of keep investigative journalists from leaking stuff out. And you will listen to, like, for example, you'll listen to like certain people's stories. An athlete might say, I want to trade, and they keep it under wrap, but somehow it gets leaked to the media and everybody knows about it. Somehow this did not get leaked the way that other people's information gets leaked to the media. So whoever it was somebody who had some kind of power or clout, in my opinion. But yeah, that was that. And then there's another breakup or story was Tia Mowry is her name, right? And what's her husband? Corey
Harper.
Yeah. So they broke up, and I was like kind of sad to see that happen.
Everybody felt like they were emotionally tied to it.
It was like, damn.
It was like sister.
Like, yeah, like they split. Like, what the hell's going on? You know, so.
Yeah, I think they were together for like, 15 years?
Yeah. So I think they did a good job of trying to keep their business,
the details
of it to themselves. So people speculated that it was him, as they most often do. But we don't really know what the details were. Maybe they were irreconcilable differences.
Yeah, but that's vague.
Right, but I mean, it could be, you know.
But she was, I don't know, she seemed like she was moving forward in trying to move forward in like a healthy way.
Yeah, but you know, at least to speculation, obviously, because now people are speculating, oh, it was him, and he did this, and she
or
did that.
Or he wasn't doing anything, and she was doing everything.
Or, you know, now people are going back to their interviews and watching body language, and so she's jumping in, and he's kind of cutting her off, or she's trying to cut him off, and there are people analyze, like, now they're speculating on these different interactions that they've had in the media or interviews that they had. People are dissecting that, or were dissecting it and trying to say, oh, they were having problems based on the body language, right? Which may not necessarily be the truth. So, who knows? But I'm like, we were sitting here thinking about the breakups. We remember M.A. Udoka, but then we were like, dang, who was the other person? He's like, oh, I had to kind of do a little research because I had totally forgot. But we hadn't done any podcasts since all of this.
We've been working.
We've been doing all kind of stuff.
Doing work, not necessarily like 9 to 5 working, but just like that plus children and family, birthdays and
all that.
Oh my gosh.
That's why, hence we're on vacation.
It just be everything, every weekend, go, appointments.
Oh, basketball, they do, and the kids do sports. So
yeah. That's
a whole nother commitment of time and effort, and weekends, whole weekends, right? So at any rate, that Tia thing was like, wow. So then you see her now, and she's obviously trying to regroup from such a breakup, because we know, breakups are not, especially in marriages, you see people kind of fall apart a little bit because they're trying to adjust to life without a person that they've been with for a long time. So that's never an easy thing.
Yeah, because it's like, I guess they developed a friendship, and you're like...
And or children.
Well, they have children.
I'm saying.
But now you gotta like readjust to, like, before it was like, oh, I can go here, you'll stay here. But when people have like money, it's a different ball game. I mean, it doesn't mean that they don't have feelings, but it's a different ball game. The nanny is involved, or like they don't have.
Yeah, you still have to co-parent, and but that's a challenge now. Like, everything was together, and now you're kind of like adjusting to.
You have to rethink. You're like, oh, okay, well, no.
Yeah, and so you live together versus, now you're just living apart for some people, and those things are. And then
it affects the children. People not even. I mean, that's one aspect of it, are the adults, but
it does affect the children.
It affects the children greatly more. It is a more long lasting effect on children. Like as an adult, in your mature mind, you can move forward and move past it. You know, intentionally do that. But for children, it's just like, what? Why?
Speaking of relationships, Jackson State and Deion Sanders. Yeah, Coach Sanders is taking another job at the University of Colorado.
Jackson State and Deion Sanders broke up.
Yeah, they broke up.
It was a hard break.
It wasn't.
It was over 60,000 people that he broke up with.
No,
he broke up with an entire city.
They feel that way. I don't think he feels that way, obviously. But
I mean, he has some type of feeling about this, but I mean, it's more of a professional. There was other things that were going on. It's more of a professional move as opposed to a personal move.
Correct.
But the people that he broke up with
took it personally.
They took it personally.
There are people who vandalized his mural.
Well, I mean, if they burn LeBron's Cleveland Cavaliers jersey, they was gonna do something to Deion stuff in Jackson, Mississippi.
Nah, I mean,
it was the same type of sentiment.
I guess if you,
how could you leave us?
But that's
stranded here.
That's emotionally unintelligent, right?
In a nutshell,
right? Because let's just say, I think Deion.
But they're not thinking about that as they're lighting stuff on fire.
Yeah, but if you are connected to if it was about what benefits Jackson, do you think damaging his mural or cussing him out, does that help Jackson? And does that, if you were, now you got to get another coach, which they got another coach, and we'll talk about that. Do you think that's a good look? Like, I think people are emotionally.
Look bad.
Yeah, it's emotion. People are emotionally invested.
And that's why I left.
Well, yeah, but let's not get into all the challenges that he had to deal with. But my issue is people putting it all on Deion Sanders as if he's the one person,
the savior.
Like, we got this savior mentality, because people will say celebrity worship. Well, if you are mad at Deion, that's celebrity worship. If you are not,
idol worship.
It is. Because it's like you assume that the show stops because he left. So if he's not a big deal, then why are you so mad?
One monkey don't stop no show.
Well, apparently it does. Apparently it does, because you're mad at one man making a decision for himself. If you are that independent and that, if you're all that in the bag of chips, if a person wants to walk out the door, all right, well, thank you for your time. Bye-bye. You know what I mean? But
I mean, it should have been more of a standing ovation.
Correct.
Like a gratitude moment.
Correct.
It was definitely not that.
Correct. And so that's.
But it was almost as if Deion had washed off his blackness, put on white face. They were so mad that he left the entire race.
But many of these people, many of these people that are talking, most of them work for white companies. Most of them don't give to HBCUs. Most of them didn't go to a Jackson State game. Most of them, because Dr. Umar comes out of the woodwork and he starts talking on the Breakfast Club. It's like, bro, you got a school situation that you should just be quiet. You just be quiet, bro. Because if anybody,
your credibility is
shot, man. Like, look, you can't be criticized, because anybody that criticizes you, all of a sudden they're a hater, and then you go on the Breakfast Club and you trying to criticize Deion. It's like, just stop, bro. Like, you're not.
Be quiet.
You're not. Just stop it. Like, that's, and people ran with it because they agree with it. But the reality is that if we're talking about celebrity worship, then if you're that mad at Deion, that's celebrity worship.
Yeah, but they don't know all the stuff that he went through and endured.
Some of them do. Some of them do, and they don't care. They're emotionally tied to the situation.
They're like, we deal with this all the time.
it's like they only care about how it makes them feel, but people don't realize, like, group economics, they can actually pool their resources, and if they wanted to do something, anything that we want to do, if we pool our resources, we can do it easily. Because how do we know that it's possible? Because Mercedes-Benz knows it's possible. Gucci knows it's possible. Like, all these other companies know how to get money from us, but somehow HBCUs can't get money from us, or we can't hold people accountable based on our group connectivity. You know what I'm saying? So it's like that part I don't really agree with, that we don't have the money. We got the money, we're just not putting it towards the things that matter to us. And then Deion Sanders, his office got broken into.
After the fact?
No, this is when he first got there. Or I think when he's only been there 3 years, but his office got broken into, his credit cards and all that stuff was stolen. His son's car got broken into. I think his car got broken into twice. And I think his son's car got broken into. And
they're like, so what's wrong with that?
And then on top of that, they had the water crisis.
And he has a disability.
And he had, like what they said, 9 surgeries. I don't know how many surgeries he had, but he was on the hospital bed, lost 2 toes. Going through all kind of, gave half his salary, most of his salary back so that they can help build new facilities. Brought in game day and brought in sponsors, but somehow Deion's a sellout. And then there was I don't know if it's true, but there was a rumor that there was coaches signing a petition to not let him coach in this bowl game they got going on Saturday. So it's all bad, man. It's just crazy. But add injury to insult, Deion was talking about like part of his compensation was like if he bring people to the stadium, he gets a piece of that. So he said he saw sold out stadiums, and then when they go and look at the ticket sales, it's like this. I guess the stadium's capacity is like 60,000. So the stadium is sold out, but then they go to the ticket sale roll and it's only saying 28,000. So he's like, yeah, somebody's stealing. You know what I'm saying? So then that affects my bottom line. So now you're telling this man who's went through all of that.
Now don't forget that he had to take a bath
in the pool and put the kids in the hotel, and all the other challenges he had to deal with. You're telling this man, no, don't take $5 million. And he said, like, his $300,000 salary isn't $300,000 if you're giving half of it back. So don't
to build the facility.
Right. So don't take the don't bypass this 150,000 and take the $5 million. Drop them $5 million, and it's not about the money. It is always about the money.
Yeah, he was giving more than he was getting.
Right? And so he's supposed to, because he made his NFL money. Well, shit, who was the person training? Was it Deion, or was it all these other people training when Deion was training? When he whatever skills he acquired, whatever he did in NFL. And if you look at his salary, he didn't make a lot of money back then. Back then, the NFL players didn't make as much as they make now.
It was endorsement.
Yeah, so this idea that, we're going to put it all on Deion, the responsibility, the shoulders of the HBCU on Deion, I think that's hogwash. But again, those are relationship issues that, people are, and in relationships you deal with that. You got emotions. If somebody feel slighted, all of a sudden they going, I'm gonna hit you with this child support. I'm gonna hit you with this alimony. I'm gonna take you to the courts. So you get emotions involved, and sometimes it takes away from the accomplishment within a relationship. Let's focus on what he did good, and how Jackson State benefited, and how we all were proud of that situation. We wanted to go down and support the school. I was going to take my kids down. I'm still going to go take my kids down, go to a game, just because of the notoriety, the things that he brought back to the HBCU. The HBCU I went to didn't have a football team, so I didn't really have that football environment. So to see Jackson State, have that energy being brought back to a HBCU, that was HBCU, that was amazing. So
now we're going to Colorado.
Right, because Deion, right? It's Deion Sanders, right? And it's like, how can you? Nobody's gonna go to a game at Colorado. Yeah, right. Everybody's going, just like Jackson State. Like, who was going? Not
Colorado is closer.
yeah, not to say people didn't go to Jackson State games, but it's like more people went to Jackson State, and so more people are gonna go to Colorado. So that's kind of how it works.
And that's why people are mad, because he got a new
boo.
A new boo before the old boo was really finished.
Before she had the baby, right?
Whoa.
That's how they're reacting. Like, Jackson State was pregnant with this resurgence that didn't really birth itself.
Oh, Lord.
And so that he cheated on them with going to Colorado.
There's a little bit of overlap, huh?
Yeah, I think so. I think, except Deion is not MA and Jackson State is not me alone.
Nah, Jackson State is not Neil.
But yeah, no. So that's it is what it is. Relationships. I think if people learn how to take some of their emotion out of it and look at the bigger picture.
It's like Deion Sanders versus the city of Jackson.
Last note. His wide receiver coach, they got him the job, and he's going to be the new coach at Jackson State.
Yeah.
You had a black man who coached under Deion. Another opportunity. He knows the team. He knows the system. He knows everything about what they've accomplished the last 3 years. He's the new head coach. So I don't know how that's not a win. Not only that, there was another coach from another HBCU school that he took with him to Colorado.
Yeah, I definitely.
I don't know how that's not a win.
I definitely see that he pulls people up. I'm gonna work with Deion in a minute.
Be out there, hey D, I ain't played no football.
I don't know how to do any. Stats.
You know what I'm saying?
Numbers.
So I don't know how that's not a win, man. So that those things, I think that
Team counselor.
Our challenge is keep that same energy for Jackson State, even though Deion is not there, and that also for any other HBCU. And if we can keep that same energy, then what we're saying has validity. Or if you're mad at Deion, now that has validity. But if you go back to not caring about Jackson State, or about any HBCU,
You're a bandwagon.
Then you being mad means nothing. And so I think that's the issue that they were dealing with. So we're gonna land our plane on that one.